What's up everyone? Today I got a Strand Hunter build over the new Strand aspect that just came out recently in Season of the Deep. From my knowledge right now, this would be the last Strand build for a while. I posted a Strand build for the last 4 videos, including this one, and I want to get different builds out for you guys to enjoy. But I'm really thinking about making a Strand Hunter damage build later on, so let me know if you guys want to see that build. But this video includes a really fun and aggressive build that I really enjoy using, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. If you want to see more builds, make sure to go check out my YouTube channel because I got a lot of fun and meta builds for you guys to try out. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy these builds and let's get into the video. The mods that we're going to be using in the artifact are Conductive Cosmic Needle, Strand Soldier, Improved Unraveling, Technicolor Siphon, Authorized Mods Melee, and whatever one you want to use for authorized mods for Strand, Void, or Arc. You can use whatever champ mods you really like from the artifact. We're going to be using the 6 Coyote exotic. Basically what this does is it gives you the exotic trait, double dodge, gain a second dodge charge. That's basically it. But this will be useful for the build because we're going to be using our dodge a lot with this build. So having 2 dodges will just help us basically just cycle them back and forth. For the subclass, we're going to be on the Thread Runner Strand subclass for the Hunter. For the super, we only got one. It's Silk Strike. This super is really good, especially for damage in general. You can really use this anywhere you really want to. It is a roaming super. And one thing I really don't see a lot of people using with this super is you can use your dodge unlimitedly and also your grapple. You're going to automatically go to grapple even though we're using a different grenade than the grapple. You're still going to get grapple while you have the super. So you can grapple infinitely and also dodge infinitely. For the dodge, we're using the Gambler's Dodge. This will come in handy with the rotation that we're going to be using in this build. We're using triple jump just for PvE reasons. You can use whatever jump you really want to. For the melee, we're using Threaded Spike. This recently just got a buff in Season of the Deep. It was a 55% increase in damage against combatants. That's really good in my opinion, and it does a lot more damage now. And also it severs targets when you hit the targets, and it bounces between targets as well. And then it comes back to you, and you can catch it in midair. For the grenade of this build, we're using the Shackle Grenade. The reason we're using this is just for the suspending, because suspending is just OP in PvE in my opinion. Bungie just mentioned in the TWAP today though on Thursday that they're going to be touching suspension and basically how long it's going to be suspending a target. I feel like it's still going to be really good and high end content, but obviously it won't be as potent as it is now, but that's going to be later on down the road. We don't know a date when that's going to come out. For the aspects, we're using Widow's Silk. The only reason we're using this is for the additional grenade charge, just so we have 2 grenades for 2 suspensions. Our second aspect is Threaded Spectre. This is the new one that just came out in Season of the Deep. Basically what this does is when you use your class ability, it leaves behind a decoy woven from Strand matter that draws attention of nearby combatants. So basically it's like a taunt where all the enemies nearby it will shoot it until it explodes. And also it feels like the monkey bomb from Call of Duty Zombies if you guys have ever played that. So everyone's going to be shooting this version of you. And then once everyone shoots it or someone gets close, it'll explode and it'll spawn 2 threadlings that'll come out and see targets. So this ties into our 6 Coyote with the second dodge. I was thinking of using Radiant Dance Machines with this aspect, but that exotic, it only works with the first dodge. But you can definitely make a play with that, especially with the melee that just got a buff, Threaded Spike. You can just throw it infinitely basically with that. But for now, we're going to be using 6 Coyote, so we can use 2 dodges and have 2 Threaded Specters. For the fragments of this build, we're using Threaded Warding. Picking up an Orb of Power grants Wolf of Mail. Wolf of Mail is a 60% damage reduction, and this will just help the build in general to keep you alive. For the second fragment, we've got Thread of Mind. Defeating a suspended target grants Class Ability Energy. Class Ability Energy is a lot, and especially with our grenade, the Shackle Grenade, we're going to be getting a lot of suspended targets, and we're going to be killing a lot of suspended targets. So we're going to be getting Class Ability Energy very fast. With our third fragment, Thread of Generation, doing damage generates grenade energy. This will just help us get our grenade back so we can keep feeding that Thread of Mind. We got Thread of Evolution as the 4th fragment. Threadlings travel farther and deal additional damage. This damage I think is 50% more damage, and since we're going to be spawning 2 threadlings with the aspect, this will be very handy. Alright, for the mods of this build, here are the full mods. For the helmet, we're going to be using Dynamo as the first one. Basically what this does is reduces super cooldown when using your class ability near targets. With this build, since we have 2 dodges, we're going to be getting just double the super basically. We got Harmonic Siphon, Rapid Strand Final Blows, creating Orbs of Power. This will just feed our build in general with Orbs of Power. And then we just got Heavy Ammo Finder as the last one, just to increase our heavy ammo drop and kill. For the gauntlets, we got Heavy Handed. Your powered melee final blows create Orbs of Power. You're going to be getting a lot of melee final blows with this build, especially because you're going to get your melee a lot from the dodges. So this will just come in handy and also feed our build with Orbs of Power. We got Bolstering Detonation, grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. So whenever we get our shackle grenade back, which we have 2 of them, so we're going to get them a lot, we're going to get about 20% of our dodge back every time we throw out our grenade. You got impact induction. Causing damage with a melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. So since we're going to be getting a lot of melees with this build and hitting a lot of targets, we're going to be getting more grenade energy. For the chest piece, we just got charged up in concussive dampener. Charge up is just for the extra stack of armor charge, going from 3 to 4, and concussive is just for more resist. For the boots, we're going to be using recuperation. Strand does not have a lot of healing in the subclass, so this will be our main healing source. Replenishes health each time you pick up an orb of power. The second mod is stacks and stacks. Picking up an orb of power grants you 1 additional stack of armor charge. It's going to help the build because it's going to give us more orbs and more stacks of armor charges. Then we got insulation, reduces class ability cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. So basically with this, we're just going to be feeding our class ability even more. For the class item, we're going to be using bomber. Reduces your grenade cooldown whenever you're using your class ability. So with this, we're going to be getting our grenade back even more. If you're just at a little sliver, you can just pop your dodge real quick and you'll get your grenade back. Then we have Reaper. After using your class ability, your next weapon final blow spawns an orb of power. We're going to be dodging a lot with this build, so we're going to get even more orbs from the dodge. Our final mod is utility kickstart. So every time we expend our class ability, since we have 2 of them, it's going to give us a bump of energy from the armor charges that we have. This also works if you don't have any armor charges, it'll still give you a tiny little bump. For this build, in order, you want to build into resilience, mobility, and then discipline. For this build for me, I have 100 mobility, we got 80 resilience, and 80 discipline. If you have better armor, you'll be able to get higher stats than I can, but this is as high as I can go. The reason we're going with 80 resilience instead of just 100 resilience and 80 mobility is because with woven mail, since we're going to be picking up a lot of orbs with this build, you're going to always have that 60% damage reduction. So I feel like that will just help this in general. So you don't have to get that 30% damage reduction always. We're still getting 24% as well. Then for the mobility, just to get our class ability as fast as possible, just so we can use it as much as possible. And the grenade just for the shackle grenades. So since we have 2 of them, get them back as fast as possible. You do not have to build into strength since you're going to be using your dodge, which will give you your melee back instantly if you're around targets. And then obviously intellect is not that important. And then recovery, you can definitely bump this up if you want. I have 27. You can definitely bump this up to like 50. That's going to help the build a lot more just to get you more health regeneration. In the background gameplay, you can probably see me using Immortal with this build. The only reason I'm using Immortal is just to show that you can still get your grenade back fast without Demolitionist. But ideally, I would use Rufus's instead with any special weapon you want and also any heavy weapon you want. You can also use the new Strand Trace Rifle that just recently came out. It's called the Navigator. It's from the Ghost of the Deep dungeon from the final boss. It's not a guaranteed drop, but if you do triumphs, it will increase your drop rate. Just real quick, what this does is if you shoot a teammate, it will give you and the teammate woven mail for 10 seconds. And if you do sustain damage on a target, it will sever the target. So basically for this gameplay loop, basically what we want to do is when you see a big group of enemies or just an enemy in general, use your shackle grenade on them. They will get suspended. What you do after that is you go under them or near them, use your threaded specter. So your dodge, it will leave behind the woven matter of you. And then once they're close enough to it from suspension, it will explode. It will send out threadlings. And from that, since you're getting a kill of suspension with your threaded specter, you're going to be getting more class ability energy back. And when you use your dodge, you can also use your melee, which will give you even more grenade energy back. So you can use your grenade again, use your dodge again since you have 2. And then you can use your melee again. Pick up any orbs you see and also just use your weapons to generate your grenade energy back from threaded generation. And the more enemies you kill while they're suspended, you'll get more class ability energy back. And also when you pick up those orbs, it'll give you 2 stacks of armor charge up to 4. This will tie into your utility kickstart, so then it will give you even more dodge energy. That's basically it for the gameplay loop. I really like this build because it just feels like you're really aggressive with this build. I really like the aspect in Slayer and Slam as well, but I just feel like it had nothing else towards it except for just suspending targets. But with this aspect, I feel like it really has a lot more to it, and you can just be a lot more aggressive with it. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed this video, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. And if you guys want to see more builds, make sure to go check out my YouTube channel. I posted a lot of builds for Titan so far, and now I'm going into Warlock builds. And then after that, I'm going to be going into Hunter builds. I have some really fun builds planned, so make sure to stay tuned for those. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
AKZ, you crazy?